Earthen house with adobe techniques can carry all kind of roof. Don't worry about it will be able to carry the weight from the roof or not, because it's so strong. It can carry weight than normal house many times. We can even do living roof, planting garden or rise on top of the roof. When we build the wall up to the level that we want, we just put the beam on top of the wall. So this beam just rests on top of the wall. That is enough, and then we can level it and cover with mud. The beam can be wood or metal. It depends on what you like. Normally, if it's metal, I use 2x4 as the first beam on top of the wall. Then I will use 2 by 2 inches metal to put on top of the first beam. I keep it about 50 centimeters far apart. If our ceiling thick, strong, we can make it far apart more than this. But if our ceiling too thin, it's good to make it closer. The 2 by 2 need to be closer than that. Can be 30 inches. It be 30 centimeters. It will be okay too. Before we put the ceiling on top the beam, it's better to cover the beam that rests on the wall with mud. That will help to hold the beam or the roof structure connect to the wall very well without nail or screw it in. Just cover with mud, that's good enough. And then we can put the ceiling on top. The ceiling can be anything, can be plywood, can be wood, can be whatever people have. But we use cement board. This kind of cement board in Thailand we call Smartboard. Smartboard is a cement with some fiber. It's quite strong, and then it lasts quite long too. Our Smartboard for the ceiling, we choose the size, the thickness of the size about 10 millimeters. It's not very strong. When we walk on it, we need to be very careful. But it's good for the ceiling because we don't want it to be too thick, because we will not walk on it often. After we finish, we'll just leave it like that, and then it did not carry a lot of weight. That's why 10 millimeters is good enough. But if we use for the floor, it's good to be 16 millimeters. It will be stronger, especially if we want to make a living roof. 16 millimeters is good, and then we can make the edge around the ceiling and we seal the joint with something waterproof like asphalt or some kind of material that work very well, and put plastic on top, and then we can put good soil on top of it. Then we can plant anything on the roof. It will be living roof. Living roof is very nice and cool to control temperatures. But for us this time, we don't do living roof. We just use normal roof. After we set the cement board for the ceiling, we just make a hole to make the pillars for the roof. So the hole that we cut through the cement board, it's just for the small pillar like this one. This will be pillars to hold the ridge beam. That one is ridge beam. So we start from this part now. Because we have rain every day, and we don't want the rainwater to erode the wall, so we seal the gap, the joint between each cement board with some kind of sealer. Anything that can seal very well, we use it. This is what it looked like from the in the room. You can see the ceiling. We can see the hole that we make a hole to put the pillars connect to the beam. So we can fix this hole later by painting or fix it. It is easier to paint the ceiling before we put it up, because it's so easy to paint on the ground. And then the ceiling like this is very easy to clean because it's smooth and nice. Then we can put the rafter on the roof. When we have ridge beam, we put the rafter on top and weld together. We use metal because it's cheap for us and then easy to work, but to use wood is more expensive in our area. For the rafter, we use the metal 2 by 4 inches, but we use very thin metal, very thin kind, the thinnest one, because it's cheap, and the roof will not carry a lot of weight. That's why we use thinner metal to use this for this part. When we have the rafters done, the next thing is we need to put purlin on top of it. The purlin, we use the metal 1 by 2 inches, it's smaller metal. And after we got purlin, we use OSB board. This is a kind of plywood. It's very cheap because it uses a lot of wood chip and glue together and press together. This kind of plywood is better than normal plywood because it will not peel off easily. And because of cheap, we can buy the thick one. This one is about 10 millimeters. It helps to be good insulation for our roof. So we use OSB put on top of purlin. This OSB board will work as insulation, and in the same time we can screw everything on this board. Everything will be attached together very well, very strong. We use some insulation on top of OSB to make it completely insulated because we don't want our house to be hot. The hot is a problem in Thailand. Mostly people in Thailand, they don't think much about this. People will not able to stay on the top floor in the daytime because it's too hot. But we want to make our house be able to use every space all day long. And after the insulation, we use metal sheet on top. Because metal sheet will last long, we don't need to fix it often. All kind of natural roof, it look nice, it's good, but you need to fix often. And if you think in the long term, it will be more expensive than metal sheet or something like this. Metal sheet alone, it will cost a lot of heat in the room. But when we have OSB and the insulation, it will stop the heat very well. And metal sheet alone, it will be very loud when it rains. But when we have something under it like this, there's no sound of the rain. It's very quiet and nice. If we get insulation that come with metal sheet, it's not last very long. It crumble. It's become big problem in the next few years. So this is under the roof. It worked very well. In the very hot day, I sit down here. I feel very cool and nice. Normal roof, you cannot sit here. You will be very extremely hot. But this one, it worked very well. It's worth it to invest some money on the roof. This is the finished roof. It looked very simple, easy, but inside is very cool, very nice. That is the meaning of the house that I think about. It have to be comfortable to live in every part of the house.